let's get your heat check on the Timberwolves here quick.
Well, you and I kind of talked about this before the series started. I even told you I put a pretty significant waiver on the T Wolves and the Wild both winning their series. So I'm pretty confident. So looking at the T Wolves, you look at game one, they essentially outside of half of a quarter,
Yep.
dominate the rest of that game.
Yep.
Take away the slow start the rest of the game. I mean, it was never really in question. I got a little bit close towards the end, but I kind of go into coast mode.
Yep.
Even last night, I feel like they didn't play that well. I don't know that they can hang with our physicality and our athleticism. They can't. You saw it last night. I'm not going to harp on the refs because that's just the way the NBA game works. But you can clearly see we're the more physical team. I mean, between Luka and LeBron whining after each call, and it just Naz Reid picking up 4 fouls in the course of 4 minutes, and even just looking at some of the calls, we're the bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic team. I don't think they're going to hang with us for a 7-game series. I don't like the outcome last night. Again, you're on the road though. I mean, in any other situation, any other series, any other sport for that matter, if you say that you're in the playoffs and you go on the road and you take one out of the 2 games, you're coming back home. You've got home
Yep.
court advantage.
Yep.
So at that point, like you've got to, you can't be upset with the results. I just think that at least for me internally, I just feel like we're the better team. I thought we could come away with both of those games and then come back home.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with you. I think obviously you could argue that the Lakers, and I think that this is a legitimate argument. I feel going into the series, we're getting way too much of the Lakers have the best two players, and then we can talk about everything else. Um, when Ant, I, the frustrating thing that about Ant is I feel like, and he's only 23, but I feel like we continue to say there's just that one thing missing from his game, and you can't even necessarily like put your finger on it. It might be that he lacks the ability to like take over when he needs to take over. Maybe that's it. I mean, he's done it before, but in his career as a clutch shooter, he hasn't been that good. So maybe that's it. But I feel like there's just that one thing that's holding Ant back from really being. Everybody wants to talk about next face of the NBA, and he's the future, but really solidifying himself in that type of conversation with the Lukas and the LeBrons of the world. But
I think I know what you mean, and I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think it's that one thing, but I think what it is it's that consistency
mm,
across the board in the takeover kind of moments, like that where that magic happens. The stuff that Kobe just did that you couldn't explain. Not to go all the way back to Jordan, the stuff that
but
Jordan did.
Jordan too.
But even looking at like Kyrie with the Cavs series and things of that nature, like the Hall of Fame players are the guys that take that next step. Even KD with Golden State in a couple of those seasons. It's kind of you're waiting for those moments for him to consistently take over all phases of the game where it's his world and nobody else's. He does it in streaks,
Yes,
but even if you go and you look at the game winning shots, I don't know what the numbers off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like
it's
he's
bad.
far less.
It's
It's
like
bad.
it's
It's
like
far
0
less.
for something or like 2 for
I
like
want to say it's
30
like
or something.
five for 35 or something like
Yep.
that, or something along those lines. So it's like it's a lot worse than what you'd imagine. So that's where I look at it, and I don't know what it's not that one thing because there's phases where he's the best player on the court, best player on the planet potentially. Like that dunk he had last night, that
Yes.
fucking insane. Like he double clutched in the air to get around him, still dunked over him. And then the other thing too, refs hate him. Like
Yes.
he's got the worst whistle in the entire NBA. Like
Did you see what
he
happened? Did
they
you see the video from the internet yesterday where LeBron after he like doesn't get the call, he goes up, doesn't get the call, and he says something like, or he did get the call, and he goes, "About fucking time you call something," like right
and
to the
Ant would
ref,
go,
and
if I
Ant
said
is
that,
like,
I'd
"If
be
I
teed
said
up. He's
that,
like,
I would have
I'd
been
be
out
teed
of
up,
here."
done,
Yes,
out, kicked
exactly.
out
And
of the
he's
game.
like,
Like
he's like this.
exactly. So there's some of that stuff too, and again, that's got nothing to do with his consistency. There's just those little things, but that's I call out because the things that he can do at times are nobody can do. And at 23, I mean, he's still within his prime athletic window for 4 years, 5 years that in other parts of his game will develop. But it's that overall consistency to take over the game where there's just nothing else. Luka's done it before. You've seen him just hit shots that he shouldn't hit and things of that nature. So So yeah, I'm with you on that, and I don't know what it is exactly, but there's phases or there's times where he's the best player on the court, and I would even argue that there's been times where you kind of look at other players from the T Wolves outperforming LeBron and Luca, and again, you look at the overall athleticism and just how quick they look and how fast they look, and the playoff defense that they play versus the regular season. That I think we should be favored. I think we're going to win the series. Aside from the NBA and LA and ratings and calls and trying to extend series, on paper, we're the better team.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the biggest thing, and I was just going to get into this, but like you can argue whether or not Ant is the best player, the second best player, the third best player in the series, whatever. But once you get beyond that top three, it's pretty much all Timberwolves.
It's all
Like
Timberwolves.
even what we were hearing about what's his face though, the white guy guard that they have. Like
Dante?
no, for the Lakers. Why can't I think of his
Oh,
name?
Reeves. Austin
Reeves.
Reeves.
Like
Yep.
they were talking him up, and when I have watched him, like, because he was on the USA team, right? I'm
I
99% sure
recall.
he was. So like when I saw him play on the USA team, and when I've seen him play in other times, he's always like that white guy who stands out as like he's better than I thought he would be. Like that is who he is. So then going into the series, everybody talked about how he was being the underrated factor, like the third part of the Lakers' big three, and everybody was kind of like looking down on him. Since the series has started, I've taken a step back on like how good I think he is. What I saw from him when I hadn't really seen him play very much, now that I've seen him play for 2 games, I am less impressed than I was before. Like he is a poor man's JJ Redick. Like that's what he when JJ
I
Redick
think
was
he's
a
got some
player.
more. Yeah, I
But
mean,
JJ
JJ Redick
Redick
turned
was
into a dog.
but
He turned
JJ
into a
Redick
dog in
he was a
his.
dog, but I'm saying like they would say Reeves might be better at running the point guard, getting to the hole, like being that guy. But
Yeah,
I
that's where I think
disagree.
Reeves is
I
a
would
little bit
say
more
that
athletic, a little bit more physical. Game one, I would agree with you 100%. Game two, he looked a little bit better. He got to the hole, he got to the rack.
no, I agree, but I'm saying that like who JJ Redick was as a player in the NBA, I put Austin Reeves as closer to that than like some legitimate third option to a big three.
Oh, I mean, you starting to look at when you got again Rudy Gobert, you look in a different light because it's defense. It doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but
I'm
you're
so
starting
sick
to
of the
look at
Rudy Gobert hate. It's just
I'm
so annoying.
I can't handle it. And then you can look at that steal and the dunk and the coast to coast last night. Nobody's gonna talk about it.
No,
Never happened because he would never do that. And then all you hear about is he just gets killed in isolation. He doesn't get killed
no.
in
He was
isolation.
they've
He
been trying to
doesn't.
ISO him all series long and it has not worked. I don't think
It
they might
hasn't
have hit a
worked.
couple shots, but it hasn't worked as like a strategy and not even close. Not like, oh, we
No.
think we might have something here. It turns into Luka Doncic doing 33-foot fadeaway jumpers. That's what it ends up being,
And
and that's
banking
not
them
good
in and
offense.
so, no, it's sometimes he'll bank it in and
Yeah.
do something crazy, but no, it's like so yeah, the Gobert slander has got to stop. But that's when you start talking about the best, big two or big three. They don't have anybody that lines up.
No.
Even Julius Randle, even I mean Nas
Nas,
destroys them. You look
Jaden
at
McDaniels,
Divincenzo, like Jaden McDaniels
DiVincenzo.
blows them away. Like it's just
You go
that's what I say,
down the
up and down.
list.
You go down the list, and
Well,
it is so skewed towards the Timberwolves that again, like you get a 7 game series, you get the Timberwolves back at home.
like if you
I
did,
don't know. There's
if you ranked the top 10 players of this series, like would there be any Lakers outside of their top 3 in the top 10?
I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to probably go look at their lineup. Maybe there's a
Because
couple guys we're underrating because
you're going to
we're
get
Minnesota, but
you're going to get 6 right away because you'll have the Lakers big 3 and then you'll have the Timberwolves if you want to count you go Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, let's say max
so
players.
let's use this scenario. So instead of having to go that way, I feel like trades are always kind of because people always get partial to different things and stuff like that. So outside of LA's big three, is there anybody else on our roster, 1 through 7, 1 through 8, that you're trading straight up for one of their players, 1 for 1?
No. Fuck
That's what I'm
no.
saying. So you
Not
start.
even close.
That's what I'm saying. So you start putting the trade value on it, and that's where people kind of get partial or no, I need this or I need more. From a T Wolves fan, I can't think of anybody on their roster from again Randall to Gobert to Nas Reed to Jaden McDaniels. even DiVincenzo, that I trade a 1-for-1 straight up outside of LeBron or Luca.
And even
That's
with
just
how old LeBron's getting, you're even pushing the limit there. I mean,
even then. That's
who
what I
are you
say.
going
I
to
mean,
trade on our roster for LeBron right now? I mean,
you wouldn't
you would,
almost
like, yes,
nobody.
Dante DiVincenzo, sure, like
Yeah,
a Julius
if you're
Randle,
looking
even
for
sure, but I don't
a
know if
1 or 2 year run, but
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
exactly. But
Yep.
I don't even know if like Jaden McDaniels might be too important to the Timberwolves' future to move him in a one for
Oh, you're
one
not
when you're
moving
only.
him. I mean,
That's what I'm
again,
saying.
he's what is he,
Obviously not
24? I
Ant.
mean, his best years are ahead of him yet. Like
Nas Reed, you would never trade straight up.
never, absolutely
That's
not.
the funny thing is that if and that is the biggest problem going into the start of this series from a national media perspective. If I would have went on ESPN on SportsCenter and they sat me down and said, "What do you think about this series?" and talk about comparisons, and I said I would not trade Nas Reed straight up right now for
You'd
LeBron
get
James.
roasted, and
You
ESPN would
would
never let you back in
nobody
the
would
door.
even they would not even they'd go, "Who is this guy? Get him off our set." Not half of us haven't even heard
You
of
couldn't
Nas
even
Reed.
speak against the Lakers losing that series. It was the Lakers are going to win, but will it be in 5 or 6? That's pretty much
Correct.
the narrative everywhere, everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, it
It's
was. It was like it was something I did an article on it. It was something like 43 of 53
yeah,
experts that national experts picked the Lakers to win.
and that's just it makes me wonder if they didn't look at or didn't watch the T-Wolves this year, but you'd understand that it took them a while to gel. You had some injuries. You had to get, Randall was out for a while. DiVincenzo was out for a while. You still had to get the entire core to gel, so to speak, after, moving Cat. It's like, but as you watch the second half of the season, or at least the last, we'll say, third of the season, like this was a team that looked a lot like last year's team. Different team, but looked like a playoff run caliber type of squad that
Better.
is built
I
for the
think
playoffs.
the
But better.
Julius
We're
Randle
deeper.
conversation, and yes, you're right, deeper. I agree, but I think we're underrating the winning aspect that Julius DiVincenzo brings. Because, like,
They're
Cat was
dogs,
Cat.
dude.
Cat is who he
Yeah.
is. He's Cat. He's a
Go
great
look at
player.
Cat's last game. He had a great game
Correct.
one, game two. He went right back to the same Cat that we always knew, that we have seen in Minnesota, especially playoffs forever. Like, love Cat, love him as a third option kind of guy, but I want that G. I want that dog. I want that guy that is. I mean, you look at the attitude that DiVincenzo and Randall bring to the court. Like, the Lakers don't want to fuck with those guys. They
No.
don't want to. They don't want to go near them. They see a screen coming. They look out for it. Like, those guys are ready to blast you. Like,
Well,
those guys, they're gamers. They're G's.
and
They're
think of
not
it
going to get
this
down on
way:
themselves. Like,
like as an athlete, Cat, you're it's a tough first half, like just like in the last game, whatever. Tough first half, you're going into halftime, and Cat gets up to tell the whole team how they need to play better and
you
do
might as
this
well
and do
just
that.
walk home, put an L in the column, walk out, see you later. The game is done at
I'm
that
not
point. It's
saying that
over.
his teammates didn't respect him, but him standing up and giving some sort of like locker room speech was never a thing. If Julius Randle stands up and starts mead mugging people,
You're gonna
you're
listen.
fucking listening,
Exactly.
dude. You are
And
listening
again,
immediately.
it's not a cut down on Cat. It's just that Cat's just he's not that pure alpha. Like, that's not his normal mentality. So he gets up, you're gonna respect him and like, oh, he's a nice speech, but you're not gonna run through a wall for him. You're
No.
gonna go and kind of probably coddle him and put your arm around him a little bit, and we
Yep.
got this, buddy. Let's do this kind of thing. Not the
Correct.
holy fuck, I'm not walking back in that locker room if I don't get performed, because this guy will fucking destroy me if I do. Like that. That's the mentality I want. Like, that's Michael Jordan. You go and watch the Netflix special. He was an asshole. But his teammates respected him. You got
Correct.
everything out of him. Not saying that Randall's Jordan, but I'm just saying that true alpha mentality. You can't fake it. You have it or you don't.
Yes, and when and the it wasn't the problem that Cat didn't have it. It was that because he was drafted number 1 overall, because he was like the main veteran, he was there before Ant, everything else. He almost felt like he was obliged to like take over this
Yeah,
leadership role that he just was not naturally
that's not
suited
him.
for.
Yep.
And whereas Randall brings that type of tenacity, that type of veteran leadership, even in after game 1 when they were up at the podium, he did his post game with Ant, and it was like when Ant's asking questions or getting asked questions and answering them, he was almost like looking to Julius to make sure his answers were like okay, because Ant knows that he just says anything and everything that comes to his mind. So he had moments where he was like should I have said that, and like looks to like Julius, you can just tell it's a different type of mentality. It's like, hey, Julius is here. Like, there's no fucking around. There's like it's business time now. It's time to win.
It's
Julius is
more that
here.
old school mentality versus that new millennium
Yes.
like kind of mentality
We're
where
not
it's
just here
like,
having fun, joking around. Like we're here to win
yes,
basketball games. We got a mission. We're here to complete that mission. Like,
yep.
so I think that it's very underrated, and we weren't. I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at it from a basketball standpoint. I wasn't looking to the future and going, you know what? If this team makes the playoffs, they'll be way more mature. They'll be way more ready to handle the playoff grind with Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. So it's almost like as it's unfolding in front of our eyes, it's almost like you're seeing a new element of the trade that you didn't really see until now because it just like wasn't there in front of you.
I agree with all that, and I think the other part too, it kind of even the Gobert trade. On paper, it makes so much sense. It's the right thing to do from a basketball operation. I think it's hard for us to wrap our arms around that sometimes. And same thing with the cat trade because we're like, on financial this that. But in both situations, it's we gave up a shit ton for Gobert to make everything work. And again, we had to match salaries. You got to do that. You got to add the value. Get all that. Same thing with Cat. You're like, we didn't get nearly enough. Cat should have got us 6 first rounders if Gobert got us 4, kind of thing,
Right.
or we had to give up 4. So it's like the trade value and the way the trades went down. If you're going to try to win the value again, if you're playing NBA 2K or you're playing Madden, you're always trying to win the trade, so to speak. So I feel like we didn't really win the trade from a points perspective. You're going to put NFL, draft points kind of thing on it. But on paper, it set us up better for the future, better for the playoffs, better for the long
Yes.
run, long haul. And I think it's hard to see that until you kind of see it unfold here in the playoffs. Like, okay, I see what we're doing here. I love it.
Yep. Great point. All right.